Hi, everybody.
Hello.
So, this is not Halloween. This is Samhain. Because obviously it's November 1st. And I know everyone is probably holidayed out. But we've had to do our pumpkin smashing ritual, which is in a video I already put out. And where we put our... because it's the new year, it's not a New Year's resolution. Because the thing is, when you do those, they don't happen.
Yeah.
You put your thoughts and intentions, things you want to remove, things you want to change, and then you smash the pumpkin. That's what we do. But usually it's something that we want to break. The ritual was a lot longer than the video, but I had to edit it down. Try to get in. Okay. That's my Mothman sculpture. More on that later. In this coming year, which is one of the goals. I make creatures and monsters and things of that nature, and she does tattoos. We're both going to be doing tattoos here soon. So Macabre Vacations, our brand, Gothic, occult, ultra culture, all in one shop is what we're going to try to create. And it's going to be nothing like that. And that's going to be coming in this year, hopefully. It's going to be coming, but see what happens.
We'll see.
Anyway, I'm trying to shamelessly plug, but you know what? This is my thing and you're on it, so I'm going to shamelessly plug.
Yep.
I don't even care. I am literally trying to sell you something. I am not made up because I have to work later, and I pretty much have to go to bed. Anyway, a lot of people are doing these, or posting these Christian 80s, 90s satanic panic pastor-run things. There's the trick-or-treat propaganda video, the guy with the pumpkins. To be honest, we're not going to watch that one because we like that one, and it's funny, but everyone and their mom has done it. We're going to watch the one that's called Trick or Treat Interview with Pastor Hagee, from 1990. This guy sells books. He's literally advertising, like literally in the advertisement, and you will hear it. One of the highlights is the rape of a female character in this book. I mean, granted, there's nothing but rape and murder and God knows what. And I know TikTok doesn't like that and probably will shut me down when I say these words. But the thing, it needs to be said because that's what it is. It's not forcibly loving somebody. We won't go too much more into that. But the thing is trigger warning, we don't care. We're going to say what we're going to say. That does not mean we're going to be arrogant, douchebags and say a bunch of hurtful things. But we're going to say how we feel.
Yeah.
You are following a Satanist. Two Satanists.
You're following two Satanists.
Theistic Satanists. Basically all mythologies, but Satan is our patron god, and I'm not going to get into what we don't do and what we do because that should be obvious by now. Yeah. This isn't the 1990s. This is the sort of thing. Interestingly enough, this is the satanic panic, but also the pagan invasion, which didn't take off quite like they used to.
Yeah.
Because they wanted it to, but then they're like, oh, Earth worshippers, and it's a bunch of girls dancing around in white gowns.
Yeah. This is like in Pilgrim times where you just see girls in flower crowns. It's like, she's a witch.
Yeah, exactly.
It's anything. Literally that.
Elderly women that own property from their husband. She's a witch! And then they suddenly got the property.
No joke. It's literally like that.
It's the church land acquisition.
Yeah.
But also, I'd like to say that we don't stand here We are not the type of Satanists, because there's a lot of people, and I don't think I'm alone, where they just spin around in circles complaining about Christians, and not getting anything in their lives accomplished.
Yeah.
And that happens a lot. And we're not that. But since it's all turning back into the medieval times, I think it's just something we should discuss lightly in a fun, kind way. If you're a Christian and you don't do these things, then don't worry about it, please, because we can be friends with you.
Yeah,
that's not an issue.
We know that it's not all Christians.
We are surrounded by Christians. This is Puritan hell in here, in this area, and I say that jokingly because these people are really sweet and really kind, really accepting. In fact, I had to turn down a lady who wanted to take me to this. It was almost like a golf club place to meet people, and I kind of wish I had, because she was very much connected to the community, but I had to work.
Yeah.
As creatures of the night, we have problems. We got to go to work. We had a lot of great milestones this year, and did a lot of hard work, and we got more hard work on the way, but it's coming together. And we watched Halloween, and we were going to watch Halloween 2. Thing is we're going to try to save these videos, because the thing is the Pan's Samhain pre-show special that we were going to have was going to be for kids and things. On some of the platforms got silenced because of copyrighted material, and I figured out it's because I think if you have more than one thing, like if we just did Charlie Brown, it'd be fine, but we put a Misfits song called Skulls in there. Because, he's eating out of a skull, a fake skull, of course.
Of course, it's not a real skull.
But,
the little
yes,
fake skull with treats in it.
And I think that got flagged. I don't know. But I put it on other platforms and it seems to be fine. So there's an Instagram account. I'll double check if it's in there, and if it's not, I'll post it in the comments. I'm still learning live. I have no idea what I'm doing. Every video has been me fighting to shut it off. I now figured that out.
Yeah.
It's the little off button, which is smart, but I'm not a boomer. I was born in 1980.
To be honest, I don't even understand technology sometimes.
I know, we had to look up a tutorial. That's how bad it was. Like, we paused it, and then, it was sad. I will never make fun of elderly people again for technology. I'm going to sit there and be patient. Like, every time. Anyway, we could go on forever. But anyway, we're going to watch this propaganda thing, and we're just going to make commentary.
Yeah, just...
Normally, I am trans. Normally, I am made up. Again, I have to work. My hair's not done. Nothing's done. And I wore the mask that you saw. I made myself. We both made our costumes ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
It's our ritual mask. That's why it doesn't look purely like a goat. I've also used it for Krampus. The thing is, some people might say that, it's a sacred item. Why would you use that for a costume? But the thing is that, the reason that I use it is because it brings me joy. And when I wear it in rituals, it brings me tremendous joy. So, every night feels like Halloween. So when I do it, it's, and it's my favorite time. It's no doubt I'm going to use it. And eventually, I'm going to make a mask specifically for Krampus. More on that later. I'm also building the Loch Ness Monster, because I'm going to start doing things on cryptids. And we're going to build a museum, emporium, tattoo place. Vulture culture shop, and there's all intents and purposes, all things of the goth subculture, all in one place. We're not turning into snot topic.
No.
Just handmade things by witches. That's kind of what I want to go for, of all different types.
Yeah.
And this was during the 90s, so this was the height of I'm not going to say height of the Wiccan movement, but the height of the awareness of the Wiccan movement, because it was pretty much a British thing until it came here.
Yeah.
I grew up in those times, and I'm not saying that, like, I was one of the kids that started the movement. I wasn't, by any means. But when The Craft hit, the movie The Craft, it blew up, and everybody suddenly was a witch.
Yeah.
And then suddenly all the people dropped off, and the ones that stayed in that, of course, the Pseudo Grimoire, the Necronomicon, happened. I became aware of a book that, in a Goodwill for 50 cents, was the Satanic Bible. And although I'm not an atheist, there's some debate as to whether I think Anton LaVey became an atheist. We won't get into the Michael Aquino, who was definitely a theist. Anton LaVey schism. But the being that I believe in, we call Satan. But the thing is that he's had many names and many masks throughout the centuries. And he's taken on forms. It's the force that we give names to. That's what I call.
Yeah.
And today it was kept alive and preserved under the name Satan, because all of the ancient gods were turned into demons.
Yeah.
So the beings that we know of now are now, demon. All demon is an earthbound spirit that is replete with wisdom, is all it means. There's the old gods. So anyway, before we get into that, we're not going to get much more into the religious aspects of it, but we are going to watch Halloween Unmasked, the Halloween trick-or-treat interviews with Pastor Hagee, 1990. We'll try to make sure that you guys can hear it. I actually remember watching this show with my mom. I think it was just on. I don't know. This was kind of the Geraldo Rivera school of thing. Like, we'll talk about it, and then I'll shake my jowls of righteousness at you, and talk over you because you're a woman. Just.
It's like mansplaining the show.
Yeah.
Basically.
So I'm going to take us aback, and I'm going to stand here, and even though you just told me or something, I'm going to talk over you and mansplain, like she just said. Like I'm just doing right now. The exact same thing she did, but with my jowls just blah, 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 while I didn't check my blood sugar. Yeah,
that's basically 90% of the show.
That's half the 90s.
That's half of the 90s. That's basically...
We need a chunky guy with jowls to be like just blah, 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 over a woman.
I know. It's literally...
You're here for skirt value, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You'll keep the guys watching, and then we'll teach your kids. Like, that's because you don't know what you're doing. That's what the 90s was.
Yeah.
And the 80s, but particularly the 90s is when that...
Basically.
You will be healed kind of went away. And then these kind of pastors popped up. And they're losers. And the knowledge that they claim to have... They pull stuff out of the Bible that's not there.
Yeah.
Never was there. Never was intended by any of them. And it's weird that a satanic witch is arguing scripture. But, like, I swear to God, and it is a little bit arrogance, but I've read that book so many times, and references, trying to find elements of Satan. Elements. All Satan did was, like, that guy? Why? You know?
And also your
And he got punished. Huh?
And also your angels look like Nightmare Fuel.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
just be real.
They don't look like what people think they look like.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, if
Like,
That's generally, it looked like something out of the Cthulhu mythos.
They look like some of them. They're
Very
like different
Lovecraftian.
kind of angels, but there's like one that's like eyeballs.
Yeah, I know.
Like
Brass rings and a crystal in the middle of it.
Yeah.
The other ones with like, that's all wings, but with giant eye, covered in eyes.
Like Lovecraftian nightmares.
Mountain Dew, unhealthy, I know, but I love it. We all have our sins. So anyway, 2 Halloween Unmasked. Pastor Heck.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry, hold on,
it's like that drowning pool song. I'm a sinner.
This guy just...
John
He looks holier than thou. He's like the poster child for holier than thou. And there he is healing somebody. Being like...
Believers the uncompromising message of Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
Welcome to the telecast today. I'm delighted to have on the set with me today Carol Matriciani, and we're going to be talking about Halloween.
Her name sounds like a heathen, but we'll keep going.
And your children are very probably going to want to run the streets with the other children in their witches and goblin suits, getting candy from the neighbors. Do you really know what's going on in the life of your children when this happens? We're going to talk about the dangers of Halloween and what you're exposing your children to.
If you can't hear this, I apologize. Just please watch it.
Season.
Watch it with us.
I do like the candles in the background. I will say that was pretty awesome touch.
First century Christians were sent to the island of Patmos with the Apostle John because they would not bow down to Caesar. A new emperor in Rome leads to the reprieve of the apostle and his young friends Jacob and Rebekah. When Jacob and Rebekah return to Ephesus from Patmos, they find both parents dead. Their older sister Naomi, who not only betrayed their father and had him killed in the Roman Colosseum, is now trying to steal the family estate. Rebekah's fiancé, crushed by her return home with an illegitimate child, is trying to keep his distance. Rebekah attracts the attention of a young lawyer who agrees to help her stop Naomi from stealing the family fortune. Jacob, the avenger of blood, has sworn to kill the Roman soldier who raped his sister on Patmos and tormented the Apostle John, making their lives a living nightmare. If you read one book this year, make it The Avenger of Blood.
Rape is a terrible thing.
Pastor Higgy shows how a believer can live through immense loss and conquer despair. How some
I understand, like, things that, putting it in there, I'm not one of those people that are like, cancel, but...
uses legal harassment and persecution to discourage believers, and how each generation must confront the pressing social issues of the day. Learn about first-century Christians without a cut-and-dry lecture on ancient history. Call for a copy of Avenger of Blood. It's just $19. Ask for offer fee $99. Call 1-800-854-9899.
I don't even care. But I'm just saying, this is what, it's all controversy. It's all... You can tell what he's trying to peddle.
Like he said,
it's $8.99 for a hardcover. So I mean, to be honest, I know this 1990, but they were still almost like $20. It's $19.99, so that's how bad this book probably is.
Thank you for rejoining us. As we approach this Halloween season, I want to bring to you some
Pastor
very
best-selling author, but I've never heard of him.
Scriptural thoughts about what you're exposing your child and your grandchildren to when you allow them to participate in something that is a pagan holiday. I have on the set, as I said with me in the opening, Carol Matriciani, who's an expert on world religions, cults, and the occult. Carol, welcome to the telecast today.
Thank you so much.
We're delighted to have you again.
She's got like the ultimate, she's got the elder Karen
today by you telling our viewers what are the historical roots of pagan Halloween.
Yes, most people think that Halloween is just a Christian holiday, and you're absolutely right. Its roots are in paganism. In actual fact, the name of this holiday is Samhain, Samhain, and it is actually a nature, Wiccan, satanic holiday. It is a nature holiday, probably one of the number one of the 4 fire holidays, and its roots are in the Celtic tradition, where it was believed that October the 31st was the end of the year. And this was the festival of death.
It was
the god of death, Samhain.
Yeah.
So the end of the year was coming in, and on that
months
very last
in order
day
to
of
get
the
rid
year,
of our
before
holidays,
the new year began, it was believed that there was the
our
thinnest
gods
veil
into a
between the
delightful
two
holiday
worlds.
child-snatching
And
villains.
therefore,
And then removed a whole month, so it screwed up all of our astrological events.
Worship nature could call
Ancient
down
Christians.
the spirits of the dead
Today,
and have them come and
most of these
visit them
people
and
don't
imbue
even
them
know
with
what
powers
stars.
to enter into the
They
new
couldn't even
year.
point out the star
Those
constellations.
very roots are our culture.
No.
Its very roots are, yes. In fact, what makes it confusing is many people link it to the Christian church because of its name, which became Christianized. It was a name given by the early Roman Church, in fact, by Pope Gregory VIII Gregory IV in the 8th century. And he did it in order to try and bring pagans from their pagan roots and that pagan holiday of worshipping the dead.
All pagan means is earth dweller. It's a farmer. It has nothing to... Yeah. They're farm gods. They're fertility gods. They're domestic gods. They're not...
Like...
Farmers understood that, you have, in order, they understood nature. And the thing about nature is that it's not necessarily kind. Children, we're the only animals on this planet, and we are animals. Animals favor adults over children. We're the only animals, like, I'll save my kid and drop dead. Okay, cool. Who's going to take care of your kid?
Yeah. Like, exactly.
And I understand that, and now society, of course, that's changed and that's good. But what I'm saying, when they talk about sacrifice, those were people that weren't going to survive.
Yeah.
Charity, there was not enough to go around to the people who could make it. So, you're comparing ancient times and ancient practices with today. And the spirit of the holiday was sacrifice, but also, in the context of sacrifice, yes, there were, giant wicker men and things like that, but this was probably one town that a priest who lived his whole life in a monastery saw and assumed that's what all of them did. People are very much, you see one thing and that's all it is. That's all it can be. And, people would write this stuff. People would come over here and claim and bring back exotic animals, cryptozoology, exotic animals to kings, to royalty, and eventually you start running out of alligators and armadillos to hand people.
Yeah.
So you have to make stuff up. So you taxidermy fur-bearing trout.
Yeah.
And warpletingers and all kinds of crazy... Wow, this animal existed? Yeah. And then, they get a boon. They'd get a title. They'd get money. Pieces of paper saying you can, marry someone's daughter. Like, and it's the same thing.
It's literally the same exact thing.
And now we got people carve pumpkins to ward off, their ancient gargoyles, basically.
Yeah.
Hand out treats to the dead because you're supposed to confuse evil spirits, malignant spirits, into thinking that you're dead, and that so they won't bother you, and so that you can continue while the veil's the thinnest.
Yeah.
That's all the myth is. It's all it's not a myth, but all the legend, that's all this holiday was about. And they
all it was about.
Yeah, spirit quests into the burial mounds. And that's a beautiful thing. And, ancient pagans, they weren't saints. But neither are these people.
No.
They were butchers. They killed thousands of elderly women in the attempt to steal their land. Because what they don't write is, these church burnings, or these burnings are sad. These witch burnings. But it was all, and then who got the land? The church.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a land grab. Because land does not appreciate, or depreciate, excuse me. And we talk about Salem, but it was all over Europe. So, anyway, let's watch this.
To bring it from May into November to honor the Christian martyrs who died at the Roman hands. the horrible persecution of Christians. So it was a sort of way of maybe putting the focus off, bringing pagans into the church, taking the focus off the dead, the conjuring, the communicating, bringing down the dead, and sort of honoring the dead saints. But I think just to even link Halloween to the Christian church is as bizarre as maybe survivors from the Holocaust, from the Nazi Holocaust, celebrating Hitler's birthday and embracing the morals of the death camps.
Well, Halloween is a celebration of death. Christ is a celebration.
That's why I got his tie,
They just don't go
napkin, and like
There's
coat
nothing.
combo. I swear to God.
Yes.
It's like, I'm just gonna wear old tan.
Yeah, I'm just wearing tan.
The worst.
It's not a celebration of death. I'm sorry, but you walk into a church and it's a dead guy on a stick. And that's not what Christ was about. He's not a zombie.
No.
You know? I understand you're bowing to a Roman torture, your device. I understand that as a sacrifice.
Yeah. But
a staff and a lamb, that's what it used to be.
Yeah.
And I think you guys should go back to that.
Just
because it's so much more beautiful. It's, your flock guarding the sheep.
Yeah.
The shepherd, excuse me. Personally, I'd rather be dead than be a sheep. I want to be the wolf.
Yeah.
But that's just me. They're pastoral people. They had pastoral gods. Or a pastoral god. So, it's I don't think that's it's not a celebration of death.
Yeah.
Death is involved because life and death are one. It's a cycle of life.
Yeah.
And it's the acknowledgement of that. The thing is yes, this is, I guess you could say this is death because it's the world dying.
Yeah.
And then the world resurrects. And so, life begins anew. And that is, of course, Hexennacht or Beltane, Baal's fires, or the White Sabbath, and then there's the Black Sabbath. That's what we usually call it.
Mountain that has a common denominator. So if I understand what you're saying, so that our listeners
they're only focusing on this. They're not focusing
the
on
Roman Church of
the
the 8th
renewal of
century
life
renamed
and
this
Beltane.
pagan holiday and changed the
You say
celebration
Hexen
of this particular day
or Hexen.
to October the 31st, known as All Saints' Day.
Well, to make it more complicated, the saints, the souls, were the hallowed ones, the hallowed souls, the hallowed ones, and so it became All Hallows Day, or that
Halloween.
day of the Hallows Day, and then the evening before the Hallowed One's Day became the Hallowed Evening, and then as the time went on, it became Halloween. And so this is where the muddle is, that from the Lord of Death, Samhain, or Samhain as it's pronounced, where every witch, every practitioner in nature worship will tell you that this is the harvest time, the end of the year, when the harvest was celebrated, when everything died down and the dead were able to be contacted. In fact, most of the traditions of Halloween have their roots in the Celtic religion of Halloween. And the Druids at the time were the priests of the Celts. And the Druids would go from door to door, visiting their parishioners, so to speak, the people that lived in the homes, and asking them for food, dietary supplements for the priests, the secretive elite group of Druidic priests. And if the food pleased them, then there was the treat. And if it didn't, then they hexed or vexed the house with curses. And that was also believed to be given by the spirits. So the people lit lanterns outside their homes, carved out turnips, put in the lights to show the spirits that they had been blessed by the priest, that they wanted to keep away evil spirits. So each of these ideas of the jack-o'-lantern with the light inside the pumpkin, and by the way, the pumpkin came with the Celtic immigration in the 18th, 19th century, Before that, the Puritans that came to America outlawed, forbade the practice of Samhain, the practice of the Lord of Death, along with Saturnalia, which came at the end of December, along with a lot of the nature feasts, which was May Day, Midsummer Night's Festival. Each of these that were equinoxes and solstices were not even celebrated by the early Puritans.
Well, the early Puritans believed in the Word of God.
Yes, they did.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 12, verses 10 through 12, very, very clearly
the book of bro.
That a person is not to have anything to do with a witch, not to pray to the dead, not to have anything to do with the conjuring up of the dead, to meet with someone who contacts the dead. So it is a mystery to me. Why do you think that people in America, knowing all of this, can celebrate this as a Christian
holiday? Because we like candy and costumes.
Yeah. Well, Pastor John, I don't believe that people in America truly do know that it's a non-Christian holiday. I don't believe that they understand its pagan roots that are in the Festival of Death. I think if they understood
when I was young, I wish I had gone as Catwoman.
A celebration
I had to figure
death.
For it. Believe it or not, I know you're looking at this, you're like, yeah.
Through yesterday, for instance, I was in a department store filled with
I had a very,
aisles
it looks kind of like a Julie Newmar.
Paraphernalia and costumes.
I was told.
Every costume focused in on death, with skeletons, horror, horrible, ugly masks, tombstones with rest in peace on them, blood, gore, bones, pointy hats with witches, broomsticks. Everything symbolized witchcraft, sorcery, divination, and paganism, and death. Now, why would we go around saying Happy Death Day?
Yes.
Why, think about Hallmark making these millions of dollars worth of cards and saying celebration on death. Why would a Christian grieve the Holy Spirit if they truly understood?
And yet we talk about someone dying on a cross.
Yeah.
Every year.
Like, what are you talking about? You insane women.
And peddling it like you just heard about it every day.
Like,
making millions.
Celebration of the year. One particular chain in America will make $500 million just on their costumes, to say nothing of the candy and all of the other paraphernalia they have. But all of the other paraphernalia is a celebration of death. It goes to Ouija boards and seances and contacting the dead and all of these things. And yet many Christians allow their children to get involved in these things without ever thinking of the roots
Hold on, funny story.
Being
I used to work at a place that mailed out the Guidepost, which is Christian literature. And anyway, they took me aside, so I'm very much in the open, and they took me aside and like, are you gonna have a problem with this? Like, no, I'm not militant or anything. Like, I want people to have their beliefs.
Yeah.
And I don't care about sending out, Christian literature. It's not my name on it, so I don't care. Occasionally maybe throw a bucket of water on me in case I burst into flames, and so they kind of laugh at that. But I don't have a problem with people having other beliefs than me. And why can't you, but these people they have to throw a fit. Or they walk up and they just, why can't you just worship Christ? Like, they just scream at you.
I know.
Like lunatics. Like, maybe because you're screaming at me.
Right, you're screaming up in my beeswax.
And then I'm just like, because I don't. Because I just don't.
Like, get off my Kool-Aid. Really.
Yes. And we get some candy too.
I had to pick up pins. Mess. Yeah, it's like, bro, get off my Kool-Aid.
For me, this is, it's my favorite time of year. Fall and all this, like the crop dust is gone. We can breathe.
Yeah.
Especially here in Iowa, because it's nothing but cornfields and.
Oh.
It's not cornfields. It's not as many, but there's a lot of fields surrounding this town.
It's like children of the corn.
Yeah, you can't breathe sometimes. And everyone's a little freaking crazy out here because I think of the corn mold, or funguses.
Like the corn fungus.
Yes, corn funguses. Excuse me, not molds. Wait a minute.
Demonic. Absolutely demonic. I know that there are some churches that have renamed this pagan feast harvest festival. Can you fathom why that they think in a name change they escape the mission and the message of
It's not even good enough to be Christian. You have to be
well,
his version of
ironically,
it.
actually, many witches call this festival the Harvest Festival because it is, in a sense, the end of the year. And that was when the harvest had been taken and all the crops are dead and finished. So a Wiccan will be thrilled that this is called a Harvest Festival in a church. Yes, it's a rename a pagan festival. It, in a way, muddies the waters, and that's what makes the Christians link Halloween, because the name is the hallowed evening. They link it with a Christian holiday, not realizing that it's the Lord of Death, Samhain, and the focus is on blood and gore and death. In fact, when Julius Caesar came into Britain and saw these massive, great men of straw, 150-foot tall men made with twigs and straw, with human beings inside them being burnt, human living sacrifices being offered to the Lord of Death, Samhain, on October the 31st night. And he, in his commentaries, in Julius Caesar's commentaries, said that this was a feast of barbarism. And this is what the Celts and Druids practiced that night. The Druid priests offered the human sacrifices in order to appease the Lord of Death, Samhain. Well, in actual fact,
But without asking them.
Yeah.
What if those were prisoners?
Sacrifice after this.
That, and I'm sorry, but Rome
The appeasing of
fought
the
people
Lord
to death with
Samhain
lions
still
and shit.
continues to this day.
they're not really good to be
Animal
talking about. You
sacrifice.
know,
You hear the police talking about graveyards being desiccated,
kind of that holier than
ripped
thou.
up and torn apart, and tremendous vandalism done in graveyards. The
Crapping all over the Romans, and now they're like, we're on the Roman side.
In fact, animal shelters over the country will warn people to keep their animals in on this particular night. Now, of course, that is the extreme side, if you will, the black side of Halloween.
Like a whole
But
other
Doreen Irvine,
It
a
is.
witch
thing
that
going
we interviewed in Britain when my husband and I
That's
made
what happens when
the
cultures,
Halloween trick-or-treat
mingle.
video.
They don't
We
understand each other.
interviewed several witches who were still practicing, who said that Halloween was very, very a high holy day to them. And then those who had come out of witchcraft, such as Doreen Irvine, who was the ruling priestess of the British Isles, and she was the mistress of a high satanic priest. She said that the difference between black witches and black witchcraft, there was very little difference between that and Satanism. Even though witches will tell you today that they practice the white side of magic, the so-called white side and the lighter side, and don't get
There
into
is no
that
side, even
kind
though
of
I call it black magic.
blood sacrifice and blood dabbling. They will talk about
Change
communicating
within.
with the dead, lighting candles, scrying or crystal gazing, calling down the dead to help them in their divination and sorcery for the new year. So it's very important for them to call
She looks
down
like she
these
just found out
powers
what
on that
scrying
particular
was.
night, which, again,
She
as
did.
I mentioned, they see
But now she's an
as
expert.
the day of the year when the
That's what happens when
thinnest
you get. I'm not
veil
saying these
is
institutions of
between
higher
the two
learning.
worlds, when they can actually
Some of them are a little sus. Like
see
anybody
the
can get a piece
gods,
of
as they
paper
call
saying
them,
that they
or
have
call
an idea of what
those
they're
that
talking about.
pass
Yeah,
before
it's
them.
sus.
When you're talking about
Your
white
peer
magic,
reviews, but when
black
your
magic,
peers are
now,
paid,
I'm certainly not an expert on
It's us.
you're making an
witchcraft
industry.
in that
You know,
dimension.
yeah, we believe you, I
But
guess.
I do
Yeah.
know what the Word of God
Here's your
has to
paper.
say about the
Congratulations,
occult.
you're a smarty pants.
And once you
Yeah.
start moving into Satan's dominion, you do not have the power within yourself to say, I'm not going beyond this level. Once you give him your mind, your heart, and your soul, the vacuum has been created, and he will suck you eventually into the abyss of hell. So if anyone's watching this telecast and you think, well, I can just experiment and
Literally
dabble in
and
this Ouija board stuff or seances or little things like that,
Christians with crystals.
you will find,
Christians.
as I have had people in my office who are
Christian
well-educated
crystals.
people, secular people, who have nothing to do with the church, whose minds, bodies, marriages,
Body.
lives have been destroyed because they started dabbling into the occult, and some of it structured around the Halloween event, and they got so far out
Those
there, it's like
gels are
a
made
swift-moving
from jelly.
stream.
I know.
Once they got away from
I mean, I'm starting to get him
swept
too.
off their
So, you know, I'm not trying to be too
and there was no
judgmental, but
coming
it's just
back.
that
Right
he's.
now in the United States,
It's like it's so
as you said,
vigorously angry about, you know,
policing
this,
agencies are
you
finding
know,
animal bodies ritually mutilated.
It's like,
There are.
when your jowls have jowls.
Yeah.
Just a few.
I'm just melting into this
the
tangent.
Devil Ranch in Matamoros that they were operating, where they were literally ritually executing human beings, and a University of Texas student went over there just on a lark to see this Devil Ranch, and
Just
he
like-
never came back. He
Can't
was
stop staring at
destroyed
jaws.
in that environment. And
She can't get over the
people who were watching
jaws.
this
Just
telecast
counting
said,
them forever.
That's just not
It's
very
like
common in
1,
America.
2.
That, sadly, they're wrong. It is common in America. Human sacrifice is common in America. Policing agencies say that almost 2 million children a year are lost and cannot be relocated because of people who are snatching them for their own purposes.
Yeah, pedophilia. It's usually Hollywood.
Sexual bondage and other kinds of purposes. But it is
satanic. Remember, it's not Satanism. It's a pedophile ring.
Pagan roots.
It's Hollywood.
They become
It's
very,
about,
very
they're all perverts
at our
and
church,
fruitcakes.
we give our children an alternative.
Oh, we're talking about satanic,
to
right?
say
Like
to a
after
child,
sparkles.
I know. Well, that's what I thought.
At school, we're going to go out tonight and have a great time.
Sparkly.
But we're going to sit home tonight and do something else. Kind of
It's a magical time of year.
It's something the children have difficulty
It's not
understanding.
darkness.
So
It's accepting
we
darkness.
bring them all to the church.
It's having
and,
fun in darkness.
have a celebration.
One of the best
night
things
where
in the
all
world
families
for
come
done in the
together.
dark. I'll leave it at that. 'Cause we've already talked
We
about
skits
things.
and they go from room to room and they get different kinds of candies and they see
were
different
made in the
kinds
dark.
and they all dressed as a Bible.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's a night
You're
of
one of the
joy,
greatest things in my life.
celebrating life.
That's my daughter, by the way.
What alternatives have you seen the church use?
The church have been very creative
I
in
stopped
using
paying
this
attention
particular
to what
night. And
you
I
were
think
saying,
every
so-
day is a good
It's
day
easy,
to
'cause
use
you just
for
blah, 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 blah,
evangelism.
blah, blah, blah,
Frankly,
blah, 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 blah.
evangelism,
It's like all you hear,
encouragement, building up of the body. I think today, more than ever before, particularly a decade ago, because witchcraft is becoming more mainstream and integrated into our culture, because teens are being aggressively proselytized through the internet to become pagans and witches,
So
because
when I
there
watched
are
The Wizard of Oz.
hundreds of thousands of books out there.
There's always 100,000
enticing
books.
Teens
Yeah.
There's hundreds of thousands of books where people are like, oh, you can
shows
practice
out
this?
for teenagers, attracting
It's
them to be
nothing
witches.
new.
I think now more than
Literally
ever,
nothing
we've got
new.
to be cautious and
Ancient grimoires
educate
have
our
existed
church
for
as to the shift,
At least the
how we
1500s.
can reach out to pagan teens.
And there's, many
So
claim to
part
be
of this
older than
holiday, I
that,
think
but,
this would be a wonderful opportunity
they weren't
to
published
educate
until, like, the
church as to what
Well, the
it
fact
is
that you're
how
saying
we
it's
they
live
sat in
life,
private
through the
collections and
video that
things.
you're offering, through your tape that you're offering, through such a program, educate them to their pagan roots, and then make Christianity attractive enough for these kids that are turning to alternative spiritual paths to come back to the greater power, the power of the Lord who resurrected over the dead. Why would they go and worship the Lord of the dead or try and appease the dead on this particular night when they can turn to the living God?
Yes.
So these are the sort of options that we should give them: education, and of course, I think protecting children off the streets is very important. Children are precious to the Lord, and to have alternatives for them to understand why
How to make it
that
attractive. Here's an idea.
your church or other churches to be
Stop
celebrating
being
life.
dicks and stop fucking
This is a
kids.
time when churches use this opportunity to bring in outsiders to come and pray for children in
Get your
difficulty
clergy
in their
to stop being
schools.
perverts.
Which teens.
Not all of them are.
Of course. In schools. It's a wonderful night to pray
But an alarming
for
amount.
the hundreds and thousands that are turning to occultism, paganism, witchcraft, the young in this country. I think to have seminars to encourage parents and adults how to reach out to
Maybe
them.
if they didn't dress like their
And
grandma.
I think we're in a very challenging and
Wear
exciting
tan
time
suits.
to
I mean,
make
I'm not saying they should all,
Christianity as exciting as it is. I mean, what a wonderful faith we
But
have.
if you have noticed,
Indeed, we
Christians
do.
have taken suit
I
because
think that,
I've noticed they start putting the, the blonde hair, blue eyed, which is interesting.
Focuses attention on
Shall we
the
say,
destruction of our children.
chestily endowed ladies up at the front of the place.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
They kind of started bumping the normals and the uglies back
To destroy a
to
nation,
the back pews.
starts by
Yeah, I've
destroying
noticed
their
that
children.
too.
put the pretty people up front, and the guys, the older guys with the money.
Got Pharaoh to issue the order that we were going to drown their children.
They don't show the poor meth head that's standing there like, "I love you, Jesus."
He started by training
the white trash and the Billy Bobs and the woman with the 6 kids and she don't know who any of the daddies are.
Kill their own pets so that they would become to killing and they would become accustomed to
Let's get the hatchet tattoos and Hatchet Man tattoos in the
they
back.
always put the Midwest tens.
Yeah, the Midwest tens.
Whenever Mao took
Well, that's the Midwest tens are in the middle. We put the straight up tens in the freaking front.
book.
Sprinkle a Midwest 10 in there, just make it look like, but that's usually like the mom.
Child-friendly.
We need to start watching some, like,
How
church
has
stuff.
witchcraft made itself child-friendly?
Just so
The
we
amazing
know
thing,
what not to do
I went
in
into
life.
the internet to just typed in teen witches, Halloween, and
I got a Sabrina the Teenage Witch fan page. You're right.
Good for you.
199,000
No, I do too, but I'm just
sites came up.
199.
I love that show.
199,000 sites ministering to teens that
If
wanted
you go
to
off
know
the
more about
feelings
paganism
that those
and
things
witchcraft.
give you,
There were over 50,000 sites
You'll
on
do well.
Halloween and teaching teens how they could get involved in Wicca, 101 basic witchcraft classes, how to do hexes, cast spells, tarot card reading, where they could get the witch's Bible from, holidays,
Astrology.
holy days, such as Halloween or Samhain, as it really is known within the pagan world, and making available fun courses. In fact, when I went into a site called The Witch's Voice, they were actually administering
Yes.
to pagan children, saying that these children were our future. The future, the next generation were the pagan teens, and that these pagan teens needed to be mentored by adult pagans and walking through. In fact, there was a letter by a little 13-year-old teen pagan that was saying where could she get adult help from. Another young girl that was saying that her Christian mother, an Episcopalian, allowed her to put up her altar and have her paraphernalia in her room.
And the Christian mother allowed that.
Yes, and she said that her Christian mother was well on the spiritual path because she was involved in yoga, but even though she had everything
don't stretch.
wonderful, she
That's
wanted to
the
have a
key to
pagan
Christians.
mentor.
Don't stretch.
So what
leads to
what
evil.
was happening here was that these children were being, in a sense, aggressively
Blasphemer.
proselytized
10 lashes.
by witches, and witchcraft is paganism and witchcraft is being made
Proud
child-friendly through the internet, through dialogue, through chat rooms, suggesting that there be coffee houses where they could
I don't
meet,
know,
where their
Taylor's
pagan
looking at me
parents
like,
could
yes.
meet pagan adults, etc.,
Yes,
etc.
children. Yes.
So this is one area. Of course, we have television and the movies that are making horror
Impetus.
films and Halloween films more and more acceptable during this particular holiday. I mean, everything's geared to Halloween-type entertainment. We get horror houses, just a lot of stuff, in a sense, making death not seem so sinister, making communication with the death not so sinister. And with my many, many, many years by the time that I get parents that come to me with the danger signals that their children are involved in what they consider to be dark or
Does your
sinister.
kid want to walk around with a chalice and a knife?
Sort of interaction,
Have
and
you
they
seen
don't
that video?
understand what it is.
I don't think
I
I've
asked
seen
them
that
things
video.
Oh
like,
God! The one where they
Tell
open
me,
up this like sailor.
did
Like, does your
you-
kid have a
when-
sailor
have
chest in
you
his room?
ever
Like,
been-
wow, this just appeared in my
Yes.
room.
and it was over.
You didn't watch him
a
drag that
Halloween
thing up the
party,
stairs?
a slumber party at Halloween time. Or one
Starts
time
listening
another
to
girl
metal
told me
music,
that she
starts
looked into a mirror with
Talking back
candles
to you,
lit all
like
around
maybe
her,
you should treat me
Bloody
like a
Mary
human
calling-
being.
calling Mary, Mary through the mirror.
Literally,
And
there was one that
that's
was
what
like
began
demanding self-respect.
their fascination, if you will, with the occult. So Halloween is
Demanding respect.
They're gonna have to show me that.
But no, yeah, there's one and like you have a knife and a cup and
to these horrors. They
a pentagram is a star with a
desensitized
circle.
to the fear attached to death and
And you're
violence.
just like, wow, I had no idea he had these
And then just
things.
think
Like
of
you
it-
didn't
think
know
of that
you were.
night where
I'm sorry, but
so many
any
people are
person who
terrified
listens
in
to
their
Slayer,
homes.
the
They
neighbors
lock
usually
their
hear it
houses,
too.
Close out their doors and don't even want to be home at this night.
How do you not know your kid listens to Slayer? I don't understand it.
It has made witchcraft.
You can feel the volume creeping up as you're listening.
Yeah.
It's as if it possesses the record player to turn it up louder.
Read that book. Who will never go to church.
I didn't realize it was that loud. Are you kidding?
The
pictures are rattling.
What's the matter? You deaf or something?
Parents are allowing them and encourage them to read that book, when in fact it makes witchcraft acceptable, it makes it look fun, beneficial, giving superior knowledge, all of these things. Certainly the devil has earmarked our children and is looking for a way to destroy this next generation. For those of you who are watching this telecast, we're going to come back.
Well, we're doing pretty good. We're pretty much a functional adult. I mean, I was the generation that he's shaking his jowls about.
Closer?
And your
children, talk through it.
Your children's children. I want you to understand that Satan
Okay. Am I what you wanted me to be? Probably not.
Probably not.
But I'm healthy. I'm alive. I'm safe. I'm warm. I feed myself. We're not on food stamps. We are not. I don't care if you're on food stamps. There's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing
if you
wrong
need
with
it.
that at all.
But I'm not on them. And I'm raising my own, and I keep to my own business. I've never been to jail. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I think I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't do any kind of drugs. Yeah, I think for myself.
Yeah.
And I have my own opinions on things.
Yeah.
Even when I read it and I like, yeah, no, like I don't walk within a reviled book. I make up my own mind on things.
Yeah.
I do things my own way. You know, people don't like that. They want you to fit in to their thing. They want to introduce you to people. I want you to be around people that are exactly like you. This is literally cult behavior.
Yeah, it's literally cult behavior.
I mean, technically, we'd be
we're
considered
both.
a small cult.
Yeah, but
But, you know, we don't have matching haircuts, and we're not walking around in blue leotards.
blue leotards.
And we're not drinking Kool-Aid. So, you know what I mean? We're okay. The thing is, though, is we hold... The idea is that we're a religion of free thought. To explore the self. He can't stand the idea of someone not believing. It's like it's unfathomable to him. Why would you want to celebrate this when you could do this instead? And it's like, because we don't believe this.
Yeah.
The people who practice it are what ruined the message. Like the message made like, oh yeah, you know, that makes sense. They all teach the same things, though. Any religion teaches the same thing Christ did.
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing. Don't kill people. That makes sense. Because when people, you know, you walk around hacking people up, someone's going to jump up and murder you. That's not really a good life.
Yeah.
That's not harm known as... That's the thing with, like, Wicca. I could go on about Wicca. When I walk across the grass, I have stepped on literally 200,000 different forms of life. I can't be racked, but with, you know, harm none, do as thou will. You know, there's cause and effect. You know, I believe in that. The karma thing is an ideological trap. I don't need laws to be a good person.
Yeah.
If this world collapses, I'm not going to murder my neighbors for food.
Yeah.
Just because eventually people will band up, and what happens to, you know, the monsters and fairy tales? They get, you know, murgled.
Yeah, they get murdered.
Myrtled. I said myrtled.
They get
myrtled. We're going to come up with fun names because obviously, you know, we don't want to get shut down for saying something that, you know, gets flagged more than we are.
Yeah.
But
targeted your children. As you have heard me say on this telecast many times, there is a spiritual
I'm against
drought
extremists.
in
I'm
this
not
nation
against the Christian faith.
for the souls of our children. And if we, the Church of Jesus Christ, do not wake up and stir ourselves, we will lose the most precious thing we have.
I am squinting so hard.
They are
people throwing stuff in the collection plate.
It's like everybody's like
of the future.
Squint and talk like this.
Talk about that.
He's got a very it's like Ross Perot. No, not Ross Perot.
The Harry Potter
Rush
books
Limbaugh.
have sold over
Rush
100 million
Limbaugh.
Rush Limbaugh
40
mixed with
languages.
Donald Trump. That's what he looks like.
Harry Potter.
Yeah, the evils of Harry Potter. Stop looking for evil in nonsense and fiction.
Are a repackaging of witchcraft for your
Don't show them Spawn.
Oh no, he's wearing a badger mask. Kill him.
Yeah.
Appealing.
Don't show
They're
them
furry.
Spawn.
Yeah, they're showing shape-shifting rituals and stuff. Here's the thing. Stop looking for evil in kids' fiction and start looking for, like, child molesters.
Yeah.
Start looking for people doing actual evil. Evil spelled backwards is live. The devil spelled backwards is lived.
Lived. Yeah.
And we can get into it, does evil exist? Evil is perspective. That does not, the thing is, though, is if you think doing whatever you want and wearing black makeup is evil, then I'm Lucifer.
Yeah.
But when I say do whatever I want, I don't mean harming people and doing terrible things to other people for no reason. If you try to do something to me, you're going to get something done to you. But the thing is, I don't go seeking out problems.
Yeah.
So I go to my house, I read my books, I think my thoughts, and then I go back to work.
Yeah, exactly.
I hang out with my daughter. This is my life. I make things like the mask that you saw in the videos, and then Mothman and the creatures that I'm going to start making. And it's just people standing around dancing in a circle in the woods is not going to hurt you.
It's not.
You not being able to mind your own business and doing hate crimes and driving, 30 feet into a gay pride parade and doing these horrible things that this kind of thought, these kind of extremists, these people that have to lash out on other people who are just living their lives and doing what they feel is best for them, is what hurts people.
Yeah.
Satan's kingdom functions.
And we aren't, special snowflakes for thinking that. And I love how he's holding the D&D thing.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm delighted to offer a solution for you and your children.
First of all, Dungeons and Dragons, you're not accomplishing anything.
By Robert McGee, founder of Bravo and Carol Metrosiani, expert on the occult.
Well, Harry Potter offends you, don't Spawn either. Trust me, that one.
I know. They're not messing with the things literally selling your souls.
No.
They're just Harry Potter, Shaman, take carriage.
And how to expel it from
how to recognize it in other people. This is literally Hitler Youth stuff.
Between myself, Robert
which is what he actually starts talking about, little books that when you're looking how to recognize these things in other people.
What?
We will discuss the witchcraft symbols in the Harry Potter books. Harry Potter
and also
is admitted
animal
to a
things.
school where magic spells and rituals are taught by teachers who are witches. The witchcraft of the Harry Potter books introduced the concept that there is no right and there is no wrong, and it attacks the masculine nature of God and presents God as a feminist. Harry Potter promotes meditation, fortune-telling, and occult spells, vampires, demons, and Satanism. I would encourage you to watch these videos privately without your younger children. I urge you to get these videos today. Satan is after your children, and he's after your grandchildren. Stop him. This is a fabulous product, and you must have it in your home, and I urge you to get it now.
And yes, I
to
wrote
order
a
the
book
video,
about
Harry Potter, Witchcraft Repackaged.
It's
Plus,
so
Pastor Iggy's
contradictory.
interview with the producers of this video.
I mean,
Call and
we need
ask
to
for
find
over
this thing and
SO
watch. I mean, I'm not even a Harry Potter. I hate
all 3
absolutely
hours on
detest.
videotape for just
We're not a huge
$50.
Harry Potter
In
people,
No.
addition,
but
Pastor
even
Takey
I'm
has
like,
recorded a 1-hour teaching on
It's not anything
witchcraft
like
and
moral
Harry
obligation.
Potter.
It's just I
It
really
will
don't
tell
care for
you
it.
how
But
to
I
recognize
wasn't a kid
witchcraft
when I this
and how
came
to
up.
expel it from your family. It's available in audio for $5 and in video
It's
for
alright.
$15.
It's a rip-off of the
Just
movie
ask for offer
1984
O276.
movie
This
Troll.
collection of videotapes will be the most important investment you make in
Harry
protecting
Potter
your
Jr.
children
It's
or
literally in
grandchildren
there. Go
from
look
the
it up. Troll.
unseen force
Look it
behind
up.
the Harry Potter books. Call now 1-800-854-9899.
for those who don't believe us, look it up.
Not to be confused with Troll 2. That has nothing to do with it.
That has nothing to do with the first one.
Thank you for rejoining us. Joining me on the set today is Carol Matriciani. She's an expert on world religions, cults, and
She's
occults.
like, okay,
Carol,
we're back at
welcome
it.
Cults
to the
and
telecast
occults.
again today.
Occults.
We'd like to
Occultic.
pick up the
Occultic.
Halloween theme again today, and let's first of all share with our audience how Halloween is being more mainstreamed for America's children.
Mainstream.
Do you know that there was a time that actually America wasn't, it was forbidden to even practice Halloween, because the Puritans knew that this was a pagan festival rooted in
Yeah,
the
she said
festival
that
of
9
death.
times.
Now, from there, this holiday has come into schools and is the #1 practiced holiday in schools.
Yes.
On our taxpayer money, here we have paganism or nature worship in the festival
You're
of
literally
Samhain,
a
the Lord
witch
of
for
Death,
showing an
being
angle
brought
back
into our
then.
schools where
I know.
Christian
Anything
biblical-based
stupid, like-
holidays are not allowed to be even mentioned.
I don't know.
So how has this come in? I think Hollywood has been doing a lot of the conditioning, horror films, television. You mentioned Sabrina the Teenage Witch. There's
Okay, boomer.
the Pagan Federation in England that says that their mailbags swell every time that Sabrina the Teenage Witch comes
No, I called
on.
her a
Swells
boomer.
with thousands of teenagers wanting to join covens and become witches.
Yeah.
So part of the Wiccan, the
Calling her a
#1
boomer for not being
festival
fun.
of the Wiccan holiday is the New Year, which is November the 1st, and the celebrations of the night before to the Lord of Death, October the 31st. So that's the #1 Wiccan holiday. It also is
Actually,
the
he's
#1
more of a
satanic
boomer.
holiday, because in both cases, it is believed that communication
I said, actually,
with
he's more of a boomer.
some
Yeah.
Wiccans call it
Oh,
the
yeah,
dear
yeah,
ones gone
profiling,
by,
yeah.
their family
Is it
members
less
gone by.
than
Others just call down dead ancestors to help them in their divining, their magic spells, their rituals, their ceremonies. Then you've got 199,000 sites on the internet attracting teenagers to come on and be introduced into teen Wicca, child-friendly paganism. And then, of course, you have the Harry Potter series that has been translated into over 48 languages, goes into 200 countries across the nation, where the global child is being taught that Harry Potter, the
Before
young
that,
witch,
it was a never-ending
who,
story.
in the
Before
book
that,
starts
it
out at
was
Halloween, where his parents get murdered on Halloween
manner
night
of
in
things.
book
From
number 1,
Disney,
and Harry was meant
at
to
one
be
point, it was
murdered
being
on
boycotted by
Halloween night, and
Christians
it's
because it's
important to
promoting
remember
magic
that
and mystery. And
human sacrifice is part of Halloween night celebration. So
to the
here
point where they made
we
a
have
they
an
made a whole movie
introduction,
called The Black Cauldron,
child-friendly,
Yeah.
and they
teenage,
stuffed it in a safe for 50 years.
indoctrination, if you will, of witchcraft
Of the Disney
in
Vault.
public
Yes.
schools funded by taxpayer
They
money.
canned it,
by
they stuck it in the thing and
Scholastic
forgot about it basically. And they're like,
curriculum
oh wow, we have this whole film that we never
providers
aired.
Public school curriculum material for over 80 years has now brought in Harry Potter, which is all about this young witch. And in the book, we learn on Halloween night, where a little 11-year-old girl gets possessed
What?
by the evil Lord Voldemort and kills chickens and has blood
What?
all over her gowns and feathers all over the place on Halloween night.
Yeah.
What?
Now, the Harry Potter series.
I don't know.
I
You're a
don't
Harry
remember-
Potter fan?
I don't remember.
No hate to you?
I believe.
Put
that
it in the
Harry
comments because I
Potter
want to know
series,
what
because
pages
it's
she's referring
I
to.
don't remember that in the movie, nor
by
the
both
story.
parents and children.
You watched the movies? I mean, I read the whole
Theology
first book
that
too, but I
comes
mean, like,
straight from the devil
you fell
himself.
asleep during it, and I was like falling asleep during it, and it's like this book is not interesting at all.
Of the
Yeah,
Hitler
I don't-
SS. And
I don't get the appeal.
Yeah,
the
I was just
spirit
like seeing the movie, I was like bored.
is accepting these books is the very spirit of Antichrist that's going to take this world.
I like the one with the
over.
werewolf.
And
Yeah, okay, the
pretty cool.
werewolves
The
are
world
cool,
is
but
going
other
to
than that, the
take them.
movie.
Gary Oldman.
After
Way
He's always
the
cool.
cooler.
The world will have
There's an
been
actor
reading
from
about it.
Dragonheart.
Which brings me to a theme that we touched on yesterday
played a
that I would
professor
like to
turned
pick
into
up
a
again
total
today,
werewolf
which is
by curse.
white witchcraft and black witchcraft. I've heard parents say, "Well, this is a white witchcraft thing, and it's not harmful." I want to tell you that any kind of witchcraft will damn your soul. There is not a nice kind and a bad kind. It is all a moral, spiritual leprosy. Let me tell you the story of a woman in my church. She wasn't in my church at the time, but she called me on the phone when I just came to the city 35 years ago. And she was a very educated woman, had 2 degrees. Her husband was an executive. She was into white witchcraft, tarot cards, Ouija boards.
Tarot.
And she had participated with those for several years. But she called me.
I can't be too judgmental. Sometimes I'll say Baphomet.
Saying that she thought she had been possessed by a demon power.
It's okay.
And I said,
I struggle with
"Do you go to my church?" And she said, "No." I thought, "Oh, thank God." Because I went to a seminary that more or less taught that demons did not function in America, that they were something that functioned in foreign countries. I wondered what there was that kept demons from getting across the Rio Grande, but we let the theological niceties lay. And so I went to the woman's house, and I went in, and I sat down, and it was a beautiful home. And she began to tell me that she had participated in white witchcraft, the tarot cards, the Ouija boards, and so forth. She said this previous Thursday night, something happened to me that has changed my life forever. And I said, "Well, what was that?" She said,
he described in The Exorcist.
"Something opened the door and walked down the hall, walked into this den, and entered me." And I said, "It did what?" She said, "It entered me." And she said, "From that moment, I have said the most vulgar words I have ever heard in all of my life. I have thought things that are so vicious and vile, brutal and heartless. I cannot fathom that this is me." And she looked at me and said, "I know that I am capable of cold-blooded murder with absolute malice aforethought without an ounce
People are
of
so
regret." And she said, "Something has taken me
brought up by movies
that has destroyed
that
me."
when they describe things are so beyond not the reality.
Like this is literally, he's literally describing The
I had a
Exorcist.
deliverance service for her, and she was miraculously.
There's people that swear up and down
God,
that a porcupine can shoot quills at you.
She became a marvelous
To the
Christian,
point where they
and
literally
was in
run
my
from them
church
thinking
for
they're going
years.
to spray them with
But
quills.
I said all of that to say
They
she
can't.
was a
They
very
can
bright
swatch it with the
lady,
tail and you'll be covered
had
in
2
quills.
university
But,
degrees. Her husband was an executive.
but you
They
can't
had
convince
wealth.
them. And it's the same thing with
But
demons.
she was
They're
dabbling
convinced.
in white witchcraft.
You know,
and
you
she
could say,
got
you
out
know,
into that stream, and
IPOS
then just
is a Solomonic demon.
it sucked her
It's
off
actually
her
Anubis.
feet and
But
destroyed her life.
you can say that all day long.
To
But
run
people
into a
will
preacher
swear
who knew about how to deliver someone from demonic
that, you know,
spirits.
it's some Lord of
I'm
Sin
saying to
of
those
some
of you
kind.
parents and
And
grandparents,
that, I don't know. It's
allowing
just
your children to play with Ouija boards and get involved with tarot cards and those things of the occult, it will destroy your child. It will destroy you.
Oh, it's already too late. I'm already
everything
destroyed, so.
it touches.
Just
There's
kidding.
nothing about it.
if anything, it's
that's
connected me more to the
cute.
world to where
And
I'm actually
final
starting to be able to
analysis,
function.
It will
Before
destroy.
that,
And
I
now
could
this
barely
is
make
from
over
the
$100
public schools of America, funded
and
by
feed myself
taxpayer money,
and
allowing
keep
the
the
teaching
roof over my head
of
and clothe myself at the
ideas
same
to Harry
time.
Potter and
I was going into
Halloween
debt to do one or the other at each month.
is
Like,
not promoted. The Bible says that in the last
then one mistake,
days,
one day
that there
off
would
too
be
many,
a
and
change
a
in
bed on the
seasons.
street.
Now, we talked about that just a minute ago. Explain to our viewers what we're
And no
talking
matter how
about.
much I'd work,
Well, we
you
see
know, I
how,
was constantly getting
how
swindled, I was constantly
seasons are
getting
becoming the
screwed over.
focus. For instance, just a really simple thing. There used to be a time in public school
Magic has
holidays
honestly
was
saved
called
my life.
Christmas holiday or Easter holiday.
Yes.
Now it's called winter break and spring break.
Fall break, spring break.
Yes, and so
Oh.
here we have the idea that it's a seasonal break. The Christmas holidays are called the holiday season. So what's happening, in order to be politically correct, to be multiculturally tolerant, we are turning to season focus because it's offensive to none, supposedly. Well, this is where the Wiccans have a tremendous time, and the pagans, because their 8 holidays are based around seasons. So we get the Harvest Festival, or Halloween, the Lord of Death.
Do you want something to sink in people's minds?
This holiday is
Say it
known
3
as
times.
Samhain, spelled Samhain,
Say it once,
pronounced
say it
Samhain.
twice, third
Now
time's a
being
charm.
called
Yes.
Halloween, hallowed evening.
No, it's the truth. It's why he said it.
A season holiday.
It's probably
the
actually
end of
why,
the year.
because he's-
This is the
Think about it.
pagan
Beetlejuice is a
New
swindler
Year
spirit.
celebration,
Yeah.
and the number one holiday.
He's a con man.
One of the 4
Say the same 3
varieties.
times.
So
It
this
sticks
is in
with
a
you.
sense
Yeah.
where you
Because
have,
at first you're like,
as
Beetlejuice, you're like,
witchcraft
Beetle, what?
becomes more
They couldn't remember, but then they say
mainstream,
it 3
and as
times,
people are
and
being,
now you can't forget it.
Yeah, no,
desensitized.
That movie's
to the
very deep,
horrors
if you
of,
look at
to
it.
the
If you
dangers
look
of
at it,
witchcraft. And if people say there are no dangers, then
Tim
why
Burton
is
is
God so upset
goth
with
saint, right next to
the
Susie
horrors
Sue
of
and
sorcery and divination, and tells us to stay away?
Robert
He's
Smith.
told that he never changes from yesterday to tomorrow, and so therefore, what is changing? Our estimation of the horrors
Absolutely.
is changing.
When you were saying earlier that the Puritans refused to allow it, it's because they believe the Bible, and the Bible in the book of Deuteronomy very clearly says, you shall not permit a person to talk to a witch. You should not allow a witch to live. You shall not allow for there to be a medium, someone who contacts the dead, or any kind
It's just
of
a name.
seance, or anything of that nature, because it is, the Bible says it is.
I just learned what
abomination
Lent
to the
was
Lord.
last year.
The interpreting of those horoscopes.
I just learned what Lent was last year, and I still don't fully
There are people
understand
who
it.
will read the horoscope
I just
and
care
never
what
read the
Jesus
Word of God.
wants,
But
or
there is
what
something
does
in the
Jesus
book
care
of
what you eat on a
Genesis that as
Tuesday?
you're
I don't
talking
understand
about
it.
the changing of the season.
I don't
That
understand
just,
that either.
that
I
just
think-
clicked in my mind.
I feel like it's weird because it's like what's the what?
I never understood that
Which is,
either.
but it taught me that like what when a priest sees
theology that
people talk about animal sacrifice and Satanism, but the thing is like I don't sacrifice animals. Never felt the need, and the thing is like it's bullshit. But the thing is when people went to cook dinner and they left it as a sacrifice, they'd go. When you went to dinner at your mom's house, you brought a caged chicken and you went and you killed it at the door
Yeah.
because you're sure as shit ain't gonna do that on the inside of the house. And then you cooked it. You plucked it. You feathered it. And you cooked it. But a monk or the people who went out to talk to learn about pagans and write these treaties, these book essays on what they saw somebody hold up a chicken in the name of whoever, and they're cooking it for dinner.
Yeah.
And then they would cook it and they'd give it all the love and they were making something for something, and then they would eat a small portion of it and they left it out. You're eating with the god, because those that eat together are friends together or stay together. It's communing with the god. I mean, when Christians do it too, they break bread. You're killing a life. You just it just doesn't bleed and squawk on the ground for 30 seconds. But I don't kill chickens. I go buy a rotisserie chicken, already cooked, and I come back and we put it on the altar. And we eat a section of it, or I'll take a piece of pork chop. My God has a sweet tooth, because I'm always like, every time like I have something, I get this overwhelming urge to go over here to the altar and believe a piece. I don't say overwhelming, but like it's just like a strong feeling that I should do it. So I've sacrificed more muffins and Twinkies and stuff that I shouldn't even be eating on it. So I sacrificed this Twinkie in the name of Satan, and then cut a Twinkie in half? He likes treats. In this house. Through my mind.
Yeah.
He likes sweets.
A mother, and nature is God.
Out.
And We've gone from clean air, clean water. Everyone with common sense wants that. To a deification
like his
of
little
the
foot
earth.
is out.
Yeah,
And the earth, with its deification, leads to this
It's just his little foot is
festival
out.
of Halloween, which you're talking about here.
It's also tail.
acceptable in society.
Oh, yeah,
It's
little-
after all, it's
Little
just
tootsies.
lifting up Mother Earth. It's just
That's really
lifting
cool.
up a
Case
season.
from
It's
what you're
just
talking about.
focusing in on the end of the year. And
It's just a
so
little
it's not
cute
bad.
Little pet
They
names
call
for
it
his
like
little cute little feet.
I heard someone say the other day on the radio that the cutting of trees and the harming of snail daughters is like the raping of your mother. Think about that.
Excuse me?
The earth has become so personal, the spirit earth, that, children are now trying to get in touch with the spirit of earth. That is a spiritual experience. There is no Mother Earth. There is only Father God. God created the earth. The earth is not God. It
But
is
you have a mother
creation
and a father.
of God.
We only have
But we're
father.
coming full circle now from Genesis 1, where God says, I give you dominion over the fowls of the earth,
No two Satanists
the
worship
beast
the
of
same
the
beings.
field, and the fish of the sea. Simply stated, people are better than birds, fish,
We
and
all have
animals,
mother and father.
which the nature lovers, I read in a pamphlet the other day from one of these PETA organizations. One of their fanatics says, lock up all the human beings and turn all the animals free. Now, how lunatic that is. But the point is that nature loving has reached a point of pantheism, where God is in everything and everything is in God. And therefore, Mother Earth is God. And we are now worshiping God and have worshiped the created and have forgotten the creator.
And that is exactly the central theme of Halloween, because the central theme of witches' theology, what a witch believes, is that the forces of nature
I love
are
that she's
what
trying to talk about
imbues
Sam
a
Hain
witch
and
with
he's just like
power
talking
through the
about the
ceremonies
raping of
and
your
through
mother.
her
I
rituals.
know. Well,
And
he's talking about
the
the
fertility
nature
cult.
worship and
And
things, the
she
mother
sees
goddess. And,
herself
Okay.
as a cauldron.
I mean, it makes sense to the
So is
conversation,
the earth
but
seen as the
still,
womb,
Kind
the
of caught me off
cauldron.
guard a
So
little bit.
everything you're
Like,
saying somehow
He was
fits
surprised
in
at
with
the
this concept
statement,
of
but
mother goddess and feminism.
people say things that
lifted
get
up, and the
headlines. That's the
religion
thing. He
of
writes
feminism
nothing
and
but
fertility
headlines,
yeah.
is greater
and so he
than the
reads
Father
only
God, the
things from
Creator.
headlines.
So here we have witches.
He doesn't fully
And
understand
our
things. He just
holiday
gets the big
is
caption.
Samhain,
Yeah.
October the 31st.
I almost
now
want to do a
being
video,
celebrated
really,
through
on
the
how to talk to
school
Christians
system,
by not saying extreme things.
secular
Because if you talk to
marketing,
somebody, they say a lot of
I
people like
think
to
this year they estimate
hit you
over
with those
$11 billion
hard-hitting
being in trade
statements
dollars
instead
for
of
Halloween.
just saying,
It's the
well, you know, this
second
is
most
what I do.
celebrated holiday
This is what it
after
means to me.
Christmas.
I don't need to say
family
crazy
roughly
extremes to
spends
get people to listen.
$81 on Halloween. For
That's what all these
costume
videos
and candy.
are, nowadays. It's
$26 per
just like,
family goes into
this is
candy.
what I do in my business. What is your business?
$950
Like
million
this,
a year is
you hand
consumed
selected a
in
bunch
candy
of
by
like
the Americans
teenage
during
girls
this
that have never
Halloween
had a
holiday.
job,
It is
Yeah.
big
and they get some big
businesses,
confident
big money.
alpha
It's
male
getting
in there,
mainstream
and he's cutting them down as they start talking. And I think everyone knows what I'm talking about. But I watch a lot of those videos, and I'm just like,
It's painful.
it's like slathering a sheep in blood and tossing it to like a shabby toothless wolf.
That this pagan
You're not an
festival
alpha
of
guy.
death,
You're a punk.
lifting up the
Yeah.
god of death, and
I know
by
what
the
you're talking
way,
about. It's just like
pursuing
that.
the
It's
idea
painful to
of
watch.
reincarnation.
They have no life
There
experience.
is
They've
They
never
have
done
no
anything, and you
sense
can
of,
tell by looking at them they don't.
that you
Because
come back reincarnated. And
it's
come
the
back
girl that probably walked into the
That's
grocery
why
store
the
9
witches
times in her
can
pajamas,
call down the
Yeah.
powers of
but
the
she's all
dead
dressed to the
departed so
nines
that they
because
come
there's a
down
bunch of other women
and
there.
help them in their divination and sorcery.
And he's like, in my business, this is what we do. Like, okay, but
incredible confusion.
he never
which
says what his
the church
business
thinks
is.
a Christian
And even if it
holiday
is,
because
it's
its
not a
name got
business.
changed to hallowed evening, to
Yeah.
all hallowed evening, and to pray for the souls dearly departed.
It's a hallowed evening that features the spirit
It's
of
always the
fear.
dead face that
Now, the
goes
Bible
out.
says God has not given us a spirit of fear.
Face.
I know, yeah.
If you
It's
look
always,
at
they're all
the
dead based
name
because they don't know nothing.
Halloween
Because they're dim.
movies, they have to do with blood sacrifices and terror and
Ghosts,
ghosts.
haunted houses.
All of these things, the child that watches these kinds of movies begins to be fed the spirit of fear. And let me
That
tell
sounds
you,
been
as
more
the pastor
free
of
to me. I mean,
17,000
I look at this thing and
it is a common occurrence for
it's like a family
parent
friend
to
more
bring
than
a child in
something I'm afraid
who is
of.
traumatized,
I'd want to see this.
and they don't know why. But invariably, this is what we call a latchkey child.
This is more terrifying to me than Mothman would be.
From school,
Yeah, I'm sorry. This guy's
with a
talking to
single
me. I'll be
parent
like,
goes in, starts watching the TV, and
I know,
they see these horror shows that come on, and that the spirit
It's
of
art. It's
fear
fiction.
comes upon them, and they cannot sleep. Their schoolwork suffers. Their socialization skills degenerate. But more than that, they are separated from God. They're totally
My social skills degenerated because I was surrounded by people like that.
Spirit, you cannot be
Like this
filled
guy.
with the Holy Spirit.
Or people that just bought this stuff hook, line, and sinker.
Before you can say
They
yes
couldn't
to
see
God.
nothing beyond
When
the
you
edge of their
walk away
nose.
from Christ, you're walking to the antichrist spirits of this age. There is no neutrality. You're either committed to Christ or walking away from Christ. And we as a society have become so inundated with smut on the television and pornography and the occultic themes that all of our society is no longer white and black. It is a mainstream gray.
I kind of get what he's saying
There is
there
no right,
because
there
it's
is
like
no
people are
wrong,
surprised,
no
but like
moral
I
absolutes.
don't think
Our
people should be
children are
censored
going down
again.
this
It's like I don't need laws to be a good person.
stream into the very jaws of
But we
hell
are
itself,
kind of, I will agree with somewhat, and we are kind of just like bombarded
that
constantly by
Halloween
smut.
brings.
Yeah.
And once they start dabbling,
A woman's
into this
body isn't
white
dirty, but
elements
you know
of
what
the
I mean?
occult,
When you're
how
singing
quickly
songs like
it can
WAP, and you see like
Now,
kids dancing to
how
that
do you
video,
read
like I don't, that's
I
disturbing.
don't- yeah, it's
and
disturbing.
his religion,
Like, see a breast
which I
is
believe
one
is
thing.
causing
If a woman wants to show me her boobs, by all means, please
around the
do.
world.
But
But I
Well,
don't
we
want to
see
hear
it in the
rap.
way. Look
I don't
at
see
the
that. I don't want
last
to. I don't want
I
to
don't
be
want
describing
Harry
as
Potter film
something.
number one. Movie number one.
Something
Warner
you bought
Brothers
with food
made
stamps.
movie number one based
I don't
on
want you to
book
describe
number
your
one, which
vagina
Warner Brothers
and the
said
noises
was
it
an
makes when
accurate portrait
we're
of
making love.
witchcraft.
I don't.
On
It's
that
macaroni.
particular day,
It's just,
school
it's so
children were
gross.
It
bussed
sounds like
across
a
the
yeast
nation.
infection.
It sounds,
School
yeah.
children were bussed
Sorry.
to their local
I get the
theaters
idea.
to watch
It's squishing
Harry Potter
noises, but
come
it just
on
sounds
in
like a
the
song
premiere
written by a
matinee
man.
that afternoon.
It
There were
sounds
also
like.
libraries across the
It
nation
probably
that were
wasn't.
funded by
I mean, well, she had a
Exxon Grant,
ghost.
allowing
What
Harry
was
Potter
it?
Day
Like
to
Ghost
be
people
Rider.
that
to the
write
public
for.
Right for it, yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
Harry
Well, no, they
Potter
all
is a
do.
witch, and he goes
They
to
come up
a
with an idea,
Hogwarts
and then,
school of
you know,
witchcraft
next thing,
and
no one has any
wizardry
real
that
talent in
celebrates
Hollywood. It's
Halloween,
all.
one of the pagan nature festivals.
So it probably
And
was
during
written by
that
a man.
time, as I mentioned,
yeah.
in
You
one
sell
of the
your
books,
souls.
there is a little girl that is possessed.
Probably has
In
ghost
book number
We don't sell
one,
our
Harry's
souls.
parents
Sorry.
were
We
murdered
don't.
on
I don't.
Halloween
I've never
night.
once
So
stood up and
we
like I sell
see
my soul to you.
Halloween
I've never done that.
associated with blood,
Not once.
fear, death, animal sacrifice, or
You can sell
human
your soul to people
sacrifice.
though.
And
If you watch
this
them get everything
kind of
they want, they're
teaching is
miserable. That's how you know
perpetuated
you've
through
like,
the school
I've lost it.
I'm
system. Through
saying
Harry
it's
Potter,
pretty
through the
evident that she has
recommended
ghost
reading
writers.
of Harry Potter.
Right.
And by the way,
Men.
the children are then through the
Because they don't
curriculum
hire
sent
performers,
to
they
the
hire
internet,
strippers.
which, as
And
I
then they
mentioned
teach them how
earlier,
to-
have
or they
199,000
electronically
sites
assist
where
them.
young teenagers can go and learn about witchcraft, Halloween, pagan holidays, nature worship, Mother Goddess, whatever they want to be attracted to the pagan
Don't
religion.
fight Harry Potter.
And we
Fight
as
Hollywood.
parents are
Yeah,
sitting
fight
back saying, well,
Hollywood.
it's just fun. It's just fantasy. At least my
It's,
children
I love
are
how, like,
learning to
okay,
read.
so here's the thing. They're talking about evil. You want to talk about the evil of Harry Potter? The true evil of Harry Potter is the fact that Emma Watson,
Emma Watson.
forgive me, was sexualized the second that she was in that first film.
She was like a child.
Like,
Literally a minor.
there were parodies and, like, you know, talking about, oh, how, you know, she developed and, okay, that's, you know, people,
It's like it's-
I get that.
Lindsay
But that
Lohan.
that was Lindsay Lohan, and that was the character, and that wasn't as a child. That was her. You know, eventually she's going to develop, and the boys are going to notice. What I'm talking about, though, is how people were standing up saying she's going to be a little hottie when she's older, and all the people basically waiting for her to turn 18 was disgusting.
It's so gross.
I couldn't even imagine being her and reading that crap.
Yeah.
It was just absolutely disgusting, and it was almost every man in Hollywood. I really would have liked.
Every man.
I would like someone to find all those interviews of and popular celebrities, really popular male celebrities, just talking about, man, when she's going to be older, she's going to be And I mean, she's like 13 years old.
She was fucking 13.
This was like, she was younger than that, actually. Just get a reel of all these guys perving on her at that age.
She was a child. Do better.
She was a cute little girl. But you don't say those things. It's disgusting. It's predatory and gross.
It's so gross.
How about talk about that evil?
Let's talk about that. How
that is evil.
that is disgusting.
But instead, we're going to talk about how to recognize it in other people and how to it's socially making kids. Oh wow, a kid who I will defend this. It's like a kid who lived a terrible life gets a wonderful life.
Yeah.
But it comes at a cost. I imagine the actors of that show probably really felt that. You're kind of born into nothing, maybe even less than what other kids had. I don't know their lives. I mean, I'm sure they probably did. I mean, their parents did what they could for them. I don't think anyone was locked, had a bedroom closet, thing.
Yeah.
But to be honest, like if you have to have your kid your kid has to be in an under the stairs closet, because that's the only room you have. But if it was done with love, this kid was treated like a burden, and then he was given an opportunity to do something great.
Yeah.
But there were, of course, people being monsters.
Yeah.
But it's fiction, I mean, it's just...
It's a fictional story.
I mean, you read the never-ending story. The kid is, his mother died. He had all these harrowing things going on. And he escapes into a book. Read the book. The book is way better than the movie. I love the movie, though. The movie is definitely awesome. But they did the same thing about the never-ending story in the thing. There's a lot you can learn from that book about life. I mean, the book is literally about life, if you really read into it. And there's people that found hippy-dippy songs and used them as excuses to murder people and do all kinds of terrible things. It doesn't matter what the message is. There's people that are gonna pollute it. So
yeah,
do you, and let the psychos do what the psychos. We'll get them. One at a time. We always do. So anyway, back to the crazies on this show.
And it's fun and harmless. Well, it may be fun, but it isn't harmless. It's not spiritually
and where are these
harmless.
people now?
I hear that by
Pastor
counselors that
Paggy
are
or
telling
whatever.
me that more and more children are getting involved in the fascination of the occult through the reading of Harry Potter. And, of course, through Halloween, through activities on Halloween.
I mean, I guarantee you that room is probably no bigger than my kitchen. And they just put some shelves, black shelves, put a big stage light, turn the background black, and have some candles shining.
And the doorways into the occult.
And you just put up a nice little table, from Sears or wherever. That whole set probably costs maybe $200.
Of the mind to control the world.
And he can look like, the Moogle of a Crystal Palace.
Conquer Europe. He took the minds of the German children and brought them.
And you're just taking for granted that he has all the success. But when you look at the opening reel, he's holding his hand like this to somebody, which is
everyone who disagreed with him. He started systematically.
But the healing somebody with the power of God and all that stuff. It looked like it was done behind a high school.
The principles of his
little granted, that's where kids are, and that's what he was healing.
Had that book, read that book. They did not have Bibles, but they believed in the communist principles because of the power.
They're taking for granted that this guy has
over their mind. That's why the Bible very clearly says, "Let
they
this
get people to look
mind
successful."
be in you, which was also in Christ.
And some of those people are
Jesus.
successful.
That's why
It's
the
usually
Bible
at the
says,
expense
"I
of
will
other
keep
people.
you in perfect peace, whose mind
Success almost always is at the
stayed
expense of
on
other
thee."
people.
The Bible says, "Casting
That
down
kind of
every
avarice
and
success.
every imagination that exalts itself
The
against
lives
God."
that
And
you've destroyed getting
everything
there.
in Harry Potter exalts itself against God. Everything in the Halloween theme exalts itself against God. It is a doctrine that is demonically.
Oh yeah, it takes them 30 minutes to say two sentences.
Death and Prince of Darkness and everything that destroys the soul And while it is given in the facade of candy and joy and innocence, it's literally destroys. And I want to say to every parent who's watching
the whole time, just
this
like,
Halloween season, I want you to watch the video
again with the
to you, because it is
bring the
something
camera
powerful
closer.
you want your children to see. Carol, you were raised in India, where the occult is very strong. The British Empire had control of India for a long time. You're fifth generation there. Tell us about some of the occultic invasion of that society.
Well, I grew up in the darkest part of India, which is Calcutta. And Calcutta was actually named after the goddess Kali, the goddess of destruction and death. And Kali Ghat, the steps of Kali, was the center of Kali worship, human sacrifice. In fact, Kali worshippers were called thuggis, and that's where you get your name, your word today, the thugs, something that goes around beating up on human beings. But I saw the most horrendous occult worship growing up.
We all secretly can't wait.
The so-called white
but we also secretly fear it. So, I mean,
human sacrifice
death is kind of the great unknown. It's just the thing that binds us. So, yeah, it is going to be the most popular
The worship of monkeys is sacred. The worship of cows is sacred.
And in a time when, you know, anything from bears raiding your house to,
in a sense,
illnesses that you didn't even know exist. I mean, you know, we don't know nothing of germs.
On our very streets, and this is what motivates
so very recently,
me more than ever to wake up
in the scheme of things,
the Christian church, to see that we just
everything can kill you. You know, your fire blows out in the middle of the night. You're all free. They will find you dead and frozen.
Old paganism. It's the same old nature worship.
People literally died in their own homes because the fire would blow out and no one would. They slept through it and they froze to death. You know, could you imagine that? You'd have been frozen all winter. You would never have known. And also you go visit grandma and all of a sudden, hey, oh crap, she didn't start the fire. Because she's elderly and forgot. Her house froze over.
Of death, fear, and destruction.
Death was everywhere.
Their life
yeah,
can be permanently scarred or
people
destroyed.
Were seeking to
listen closely and protect your family.
People wanted to understand death, and so they sought wisdom. And when you seek wisdom, a teacher comes.
In the U.S., you can contact John.
What they don't tell you, though, is also mountains of predators come.
San Antonio, Texas, 78295.
It's
or
hard.
In Canada, P.O. Box
it's a lonely road, and it should be lonely. And the reason it's lonely is because there's always someone who claims to know.
Web at jhm.org.
So we kind of talked to that and got through a bunch of different things. But there was that.
John Hagee today, going into all the world.
Actually, why don't you get on your phone and find out where John Hagee is today?
Okay.
Hold on, I'll pause it.
John Hagee.
He's
John Hagee.
old as fuck now.
Well, I mean, he's going to be.
Yeah, but
John Charles Hagee. Founder and chairman of Christian Zionist organization. Christians United for Israel, the largest Zionist organization in America. The Trinity University. Yeah, this guy's indoctrinated from birth, basically.
yeah.
Hagee has been married twice. Super shocker, since the 60s.
Since the damn 60s.
They divorced in 75 and 76. He married a member of his congregation. Hagee wrote a letter to his congregation that he was guilty of immorality, which he divorced his wife. Criticism of the divorce caused Hagee to resign. I mean, this guy's been going since the 60s.
Yeah.
Well, he's involved with Barack Obama and a lot of the that sort of thing, the presidential. I thought I remember because he's been political. He's anti-abortion, of course he is, because
Of course, he's anti-abortion.
he endorsed Donald Trump, so that right there tells you his virtues.
Yeah. Of course it does.
He claimed Hurricane Katrina was God's punishment for planned pride parades.
What the fuck? Wow.
He claimed Adolf Hitler's anti-Semitism was derived from his Catholic background, as well as purporting the Catholic Church under the Pope Pius XII? Forgive me? Encouraged Nazism, which, I mean, they were pretty much like, hey, Nazis, up until like, oh, they lost? Oh, Nazis, God, we hate those guys.
Yeah.
It was kind of like they're getting ready to shine the flag, and then, oh, I guess he lost.
Oh, shit. Never mind.
He apologized on William Donahue for these sentiments about the Catholic Church. I'm glad Donahue fucking accepted his apology.
Where?
Jesus.
Who?
Nobody from the fucking 90s, too?
Donna. Whatever.
I think it's Donahue from the show Donahue.
Donahue.
There's another one of those Geraldo Rivera, you know, sensationalism sells kind of journalism. We're going to go into the middle of Desert Shield, turning into Desert Storm. And then but first, let me show you exactly where we're at. And literally the military black bagged him pretty much on the ground.
Yeah.
Because it was like, he was going to give away their positions. Saddam Hussein wasn't watching the news to find out where these soldiers were at.
Yeah.
Literally. I'm not kidding.
Quite literally.
Go look at that. They literally
Google it.
dropped him on the ground. Because he was about to hand out their exact coordinates.
Dropped it.
We're right here. We're about there. And then literally, he almost got like 200 people murdered. I'm sorry, but if that was me and I was a general, you got shot.
Yeah.
If you're a soldier and you're about to hand out your position to the enemy, they'd have murdered you on the spot.
No shit.
And I would not blame them. Yeah, so he's up to no good as usual.
Yeah.
85 years old now.
Of course.
San Antonio, Texas.
Good old
The
Texas.
founder and senior pastor at Cornerstone Church. How much is he worth? Yeah, he's a millionaire.
Yeah,
While people are, can't feed themselves. Bring that collection plate around, kids.
of course.
And with that, if you would like to leave something, no, I'm kidding. I mean, if you do, cool. I don't have a Patreon. I don't even know how to write that crap.
Yeah.
You want to give one of those little flower thingies or whatever the heck it is, and somehow I don't know how I'm gonna get money from TikTok, but if you want to do that, I will accept it. But I'm not gonna lie to you. But if you don't want to do it, don't. It's totally fine by me.
Yeah.
But I hope to do more of these videos. My battle plan is to make more sculptures and more moving artwork. guess it would be called animatronics.
Yeah.
With the Loch Ness Monster, and that and other things. I plan on doing whole displays eventually. I could go get it, but I don't feel like it. So the background on a lot of people probably think, everything that we did this Samhain was all handmade by us. The moon with the clouds that parted, we made that. It's a picture frame glass that we painted. It's literally an old-fashioned matte painting, which is why it looks like a silent film or something from like a stop motion film. There's a little bit of a wiggle. That was because it's literally held on by sticks.
Yeah.
And I could have made that smoother, but I kind of like that handmade effect. It adds a charm to it that I've always loved.
Yeah.
We make everything. So the only thing we didn't make was we could have done the fog around it as clouds, and I wish that I had, because I really kind of wanted to not use filters, but we didn't want to smoke pan out. I don't know what the fog machine chemicals, I just didn't want to hurt pan over an effect, so that was the only thing that was added.
Yeah. The paper ghosts.
Yeah, well, of course, the ghosts. The ghosts were meant to be a, thing on strings, and they're supposed to look crappy, but it was to be the Samhain Pan pre-show was supposed to be like a little old-fashioned kids show that was going to make all gothed up and cool. Unfortunately, I don't know how to work this stuff as well. I was going to edit it. I'm starting to get better at it. I felt like I did a good job for the commercial, but when you try to do whole segments, I think they came out pretty well. I wanted to make a little gravestone and have the outline of a shovel and have it backlit and then have pan right there. But we literally were doing that on the fly. I made that thing in the moon and the clouds in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I just literally Bob Rossed some clouds on either side, painted the frame black, the whole thing black, except I put a circle on the middle, cutout on the middle of the painting, and then pulled it away so that the glass was clear behind the moon. And then I added some moon details. And then she made the little curvy clouds. And we put sticks and straws in them to make it so they can slide back and forth. The thing's held together by tape, literally duct tape. And I zoomed in just right. I'm very proud of that, actually. I plan on using it as a backdrop for some of the table stuff that we're going to be doing. Just have it in the background. I'm trying to light it. Because I really kind of want to do this house in that kind of aesthetic. Our apartment. But
yeah.
I kind of want to incorporate that art into the altar too.
Yeah.
But we'll figure that out soon. I know some people say, don't post pictures of your altar. People can do things to you, but personally, I was like, I won't go into details, but we practice magic that draws in energy, and frankly, if you want to waste your energy on that, and then I can cleanse it and change it to my purposes at will.
Yeah.
I don't really care what you do. You do what you think. Do whatever you think you want to do to me.
Yeah. It's
not going to work out the way you think it is. That thing's just randomly go to shit. My credit dropped, and then it's going to go right back up, and it's going to be fine. It's just. I do me. You should focus your powers on you, if you have that, instead of being jealous on TikTok.
Yeah.
Not that I'm anything to be jealous of, because it's not so good. I don't think I'm so hot that I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just rambling. It's probably because it's 5:34, and I need to go to bed. So you got a little message. You got some you got a satanic sermon. Ramblings, really. But and if you notice, that's what sermons seem to be anymore. Is that? And I think next time I'm going to plan that out. But this is more of just us sitting at home, being us, and sharing our family tradition, a march of our own, beat of our own drum, traditions, inspired by other traditions, of course. But you can see my heroes, but this is definitely my own beat. And with that, we're gonna beat it.
Yeah.
So happy Samhain. Happy New Year. Sorry, Samhain.
Happy Samhain. Happy Samhain.
You can Karen me all you want. Okay, I call it
Halloween.
Samhain because I like the word Samhain. Better, and it's written as Samhain. And there was, the Germanic form is Samhain, like Elfheim is Elfhome. Samhain is, the death of home, or the hearth of death. It can be pronounced Samhain because it's the Celtic. The Celtic invasion. I won't say Celtic invasion. The introduction of Celtic things. Even the word Celt is kind of like bogarted from other things. They wouldn't call it, we're Celtic peoples. They didn't say that. They say, we're from Ireland. That's what they said. But it's these historians, it's these people, we call it this. It's like buzzwords. And people get latched onto these buzzwords and they don't let them go. And it's like, we're all human.
Yeah.
Okay, you could take from anywhere. This cultural appropriation thing, to a point, is a little extreme.
Yeah.
I'm not saying run around in headdresses and things like that, but we're all human beings.
Yeah.
So we're all the same being. So draw inspiration, and you don't have to, this is here for you if you want to. If you don't like this part, stop watching it. If you're Christian, go with Christ. And take him with you, please.
Yeah.
And and don't put us in your prayers. We don't want them. We won't wish us well. Go. Be careful how you say things. Your words have power.
Yeah.
Stop wishing each other positive energy, because I'm telling you, the positive energy is the stuff that's out there in the universe that gives you cancer being exposed to it.
Yeah.
Negative, you're grounded. It's the negative energy. Not negative as in, bad. Negative as in the negative energy, the stuff that grounds you. It's the earth energy. That's what you wish it to each other. Stop giving the energy to the stars. The stars don't need it. The stars are dead. They're not there.
Yeah.
It's a reflection from millions of years ago. Billions even. We don't call them death lights, but they should be called that.
Yeah.
Because they come to us, I think, from the realm of the dead, because they were gone. But that's why they're thought to lead people. So, you could be guided by them because they're light from millions of years ago. But I digress. We could go on and on. Happy Samhain. From our family, Coven, to yours, or your family, or whatever you call yourselves, group, congregation. Pack, whatever you want to call it. Good night.
Good night. What is if we can get out of here?